Hey everybody, today I'm going to be talking about a new product that I picked up from birdchoice.com. I'm going to open it up first and then I'll talk a little bit about why I'm so excited to have this. This is a suet plug feeder. Suet plugs are something that I've really kind of gotten into. If you've checked my channel over the past few weeks, I used to feed the standard suet cakes that fit in these cages. And what I realized is if you buy suet plugs, you can use suet plugs in these standard cages. And what I like about suet plugs is you can only feed one if you want, or two, or three, or four. You know, so during times of the year when you don't have as many birds coming around, you might only feed one. Or sometimes I like to feed multiple flavors, where I'll put a plug in of one flavor, a plug in of another flavor. But what I started realizing with these cages is over time, as it rains or moisture sets in from the evenings when it's cold at night and it warms up during the day, these suet cages let everything inside of them get wet. So my suet ends up molding, getting wet. The birds will still eat it, but it just doesn't keep for very long. The other thing with these suet cages is I'm starting to get downy woodpeckers coming in my yard quite a bit, and they tend to like more of a surface that's longer, like the suet plug feeder, where they can rest their tail at the bottom and have more of a tail prop for them to balance on. So anyway, I'm getting rid of the suet cage and I'm replacing it with this suet plug feeder. The one that I picked up from Bird's Choice, what I love about it is, first of all, anything from Bird's Choice, these are made in the United States, especially if it's got that Bird's Choice label on it like that. Most of their items are made in the US. This particular suet plug feeder is made directly by them in Wisconsin, where they're based out of. So I love buying products that are made in the United States, and because it's polywood, I mean, I don't know if you're gonna be able to tell it in the video, but it's super thick and it's really heavy. But polywood is not supposed to ever fade, rot, deteriorate. I mean, it's really built to last a lifetime. So it's all polywood. You've got the nice Bird's Choice name on it, and then you've got a nice little eye hook in the top. I like having the eye hook in the top because the feeder is not going to hang down very low once I get it on my pole. If I want it to hang lower, I can always add a chain or something else to it, but I actually want a feeder that's going to hang higher up, which is what this one's going to do. The other thing with the design of it is it'll hold 3 suet plugs. So I like knowing that if there's not a lot of bird action in my yard, I can just feed the one in the middle, or if I want to feed different flavors, I can do one flavor in the bottom, one in the top, something different in the middle. You can just kind of customize this and, you know, offer a lot of variety to your birds, a lot of feed, a little feed, you know, whatever you want to do. But anyway, this is the suet plug feeder from Bird's Choice. I'm going to walk over and show you my pole setup right now, and you can see the cage that I've been feeding. You can kind of see what I was talking about. It's just over time, those suet cakes start to mold and just don't hold up very well if there's not a lot of bird activity at it. With this suet plug feeder, with the design of it, once I get plugs fed in it, the only moisture is going to really build up on the sides. Everything on the inside has a nice, you know, roof over the top of it, so it's going to stay nice and dry. The birds will come in the mornings and the evenings, wipe out all of the wet stuff, and then they're always going to be basically getting onto the inside where it's going to be, you know, nice and dry and fresh food. So anyway, Bird's Choice suet plug feeder. In case you were thinking about picking one of these up or hadn't seen one before, hopefully this gives you a better idea of what it looks like, the overall size of it. Might help you out if you're doing some shopping for this kind of item, or if you're on the Bird's Choice website. Keep an eye on my channel. I'm going to start feeding this in the next few days and see how the birds like it. I'm hoping the woodpeckers really like it in particular. But if you're not subscribed to my channel, I'd love it if you would subscribe. And if this video was helpful in any kind of way, if you can give me a thumbs up, that would be awesome. If there's any questions you have about this item, always feel free to ask. I'd be happy to answer them. And thanks for watching. Have a good day.